Hello, hello. How is everybody
Hey,
doing today? What a Friday!
hey, uh, I I just have to open the stream with this.
Yeah. Exactly. Wow. Hey, everybody, welcome to the
Honestly,
live. Yeah, this is not our usual live time slot for
Corinne,
Sounding
hey,
Off podcast, but welcome to
hey,
everybody who stayed up with us. I hope you guys had an opportunity to see the video that I premiered about an hour ago. And while all this shish kebab was going on, and yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. Man, how's everybody doing? Who we got here? If y'all will excuse me for a minute, I'm in Moscow, but it's hot where I'm at, so I'm going to open a window. So bear with me for just a second. Let us know who, if you're here, let us know you're in the chat.
right? Yeah, this is real. It's a live stream, and what can I say? Eddie and I are kings of winging it. Stuff comes up, we go live. Hey, um, what can I say? And I don't know. Maybe I'll sing an appropriate song for you guys to start this stream. You know, this is really the song Zelensky should be singing on his way back to the airport right now. ASSHOLE, I'm an asshole. Maybe Trump should be singing that as or Vance as he's throwing Zelensky out.
No. All right. Shots fired in the White House today. All
Yeah.
right. If words were ammunition, shots fired, big time. And you got three guys. Uh, I will say two guys and a puppet, maybe two guys and a cokehead puppet.
Well,
But two
let's even
guys.
go. Let's.
What?
How about how we got there? I mean, we had Macron a couple of days ago playing nice with Trump, and we had Starmer yesterday trying to be Mr. Tough, but walked away getting his butt slapped apparently. But did do you have the video of him being led from the airport to the White House by Macron? It
No,
it was like
no,
it
haven't
was
seen
like
that.
a chihuahua on a leash being handed over to his new owner, and the chihuahua bit the new owner.
Dang, man. Let me tell you, there was a lot of testosterone in that room today, and they were just pardon my French, guys, but this is how we talk back in Texas. He got bitch slapped.
Yep.
Zelensky just got old fashioned bitch slapping by President Trump and Vice President Vance. Actually, my favorite, if you look at the videos, and we're going to play some of those videos here in just a moment, check out Rubio in the background. You know, Rubio's got this
Yeah.
innocent little baby face, and he's just like a little kid in the background, just like, oh, I can't believe somebody said that. Oh, I can't believe somebody said, it's just like, he's hilarious to watch, man. Yeah, there was a lot going on. If you guys have any questions or comments about what happened, put it down here in the chat, please. We're going to try to keep up with everything because we want to try to have as much interaction and make this as interactive as possible. But where do you want to start? I mean,
I, I, you probably don't have this clip up because I just ran across this before we went live. But Adam Scott, I can't remember politics ever being this entertaining. Um, Near the very end, did you see Trump? I don't know if you saw the full cut. Some of the ones you and I have were cut a little bit in the beginning and a little bit in the end. But at the very end, Trump said, when he says, I let this go on long enough, but hey, it's good TV.
yeah, Yeah, no, no, no. I haven't seen that at all. Haven't seen that at all. Wow. Just want to take an opportunity here to say hello to a bunch of people that Adam Scott, we got TW in the house, Who Dat Fam, and I want to do. Hey, I just saw
Eddie,
this.
yeah.
Alan Jones from X. How arrogant and entitled was Zelensky? I know. Alan, please tell me whose channel are you on X? Because I believe this is the first comment I've ever seen on our one of our
It
live
is,
streams that has originated from X. I'm totally impressed and surprised by that. So, Alan
as am
Jones,
I. And it
let
and
me
it could
know.
be either, yeah, it could be American in Crimea, or it could be what are you
Comrade
on
underscore
X?
EG. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
comrade
I'm just
underscore EG.
curious. I'm just curious because this is the first time I've ever seen that. So,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah. Let us
that's
know.
cool. That is cool. Wow. So, where to start? I tell you what, let's start
Oh,
with this.
yeah.
Let's just start with this because this is how it started right here.
Yes, I had pretty close. How are you? Pretty shut.
He's all dressed up today.
President Trump, what's your message? One here, sir. President Trump, President Trump, you got a message.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Right from the get go, uh, he
Hey,
trolls. He trolls Zelensky right from the get go. Doesn't even let him in the door before he starts to troll him and says, "Hey man, you even dressed up today." Wow,
hey.
wow.
He took off his green cargo pants and put on black pants. So yeah, he was dressed up.
You know, I'm going to say something, but actually, I love olive green. I love to wear olive green, either shirts or pants, but I haven't worn them out of respect for Russian citizens for the fear of being labeled as a Zelensky sympathizer. So I'm
I
hoping, yeah,
I wear my camo T-shirts all the time, and of course, my wife tells me I look Georgian, so maybe that's why I get away with it.
oh, there you go, there you go. Yeah, you're kind of Caucasian there, but yeah, why didn't somebody take this guy to? I was going to say take him to Sears, but I don't know if Sears still has any brick and mortar stores. Take him to Walmart, get him a
Walmart,
freaking
$30.
cheap suit. Yeah, whatever, man. Alan finally responded, Moscow photographer, dude, you're the man. Thank you so much. And I'm just impressed that it works. I am really
It's
impressed that it
me
works.
too.
Thanks.
This
Uh,
first one I've ever seen too.
maybe those engineers at X kind of know what they're doing, you know? Maybe they know what
Or
they're doing.
or since this has supposedly worked for almost a year, maybe StreamYard finally got their crap together.
It could be. It could be either StreamYard or X, or finally somebody's talking to one another. So,
We're
yeah,
we're
that's how it
supposed to be
started.
getting comments from Rumble too, but that isn't happening.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with Rumble, but um, tell you what, those of you who are in the chat today, or if you're watching, even in the comments, let me know how many of you guys are on Rumble. In fact, we ought to just do a poll one day and just find out because I'd like to start posting there more. But anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand because um, this meeting has been in the planning probably for about 2 weeks. Today was supposed to be the culmination of some agreement for rare earth minerals
The
in
mineral
Ukraine,
rights, yeah.
mineral rights, right? For the rights. Um,
And the Verkhovna Rada in Ukraine actually approved it being signed.
well, he's going
So
home empty
Zelensky was sent, yeah, He was sent to sign it. My wife made the astute observation that maybe his plane to Ukraine shouldn't go to Ukraine. He, he may be one of those suicides where he shoots himself in the back of the head twice,
Wow.
or or a grenade launcher goes out and accidentally boomerangs back, or
Yeah. So instead of just going to maybe a closed door meeting and signing this document, making this agreement, then stepping out, having a joint conversation in the Oval Office with the press, and then a press conference afterward, they decided to meet in the Oval Office and have an open discussion in front of the press. Usually these are quite benign, but lately with Macron, with Starmer, and now with Zelensky, they've been anything but that, because all bets are off when you're meeting with Trump, whether you're in closed doors or not.
I heard a couple of commenters last night. Those of you who don't know, I work till like 2, 3 in the morning. So I catch some early morning, late night commenters from around the world as I'm dozing off to sleep. And I heard this and I thought, I don't know. I didn't know if I could buy into it, but they were saying Zelensky was actually waiting in Finland last night. He didn't come to the States. He went from Ukraine to Finland, waiting for him to be told by Macron and the UK guy, Starmer, that he should come. So this, I'm beginning to buy into that idea. I think he was led in by the leash. They put him in front of the cameras and said, "Here you go."
Something quite interesting. My wife brought that to my attention, and she said, it seems like as of yesterday, Zelensky was en route to Washington. This was a done deal. As you said,
Yep.
The RADA approved it. It's good to go. It's just formality. And then we have a total meltdown in the White House. So this was how it started. Here's how it's going. And yeah, here we go.
Trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You haven't
In
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment.
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
Oh, I wish you'd let that go on for another 30 seconds. No, 3 days. Well, probably less.
I guess I didn't have it in this part of the clip. I've got a longer clip that we could show like toward the end. But
Yeah.
he quickly went from having a conversation to total pissed off Donald Trump. And I'm going to play another clip here in just a minute where
How about
he
Strip
Go
Bear's
ahead.
comment? Strip Bear's
Which one?
comment. If Zelensky sat back on the chair, would his feet be dangling midair?
Good question, man. But yeah, it's like Trump, like dad talking to his younger, wayward son, who's, he's been in the joint a couple of times. He's an alcoholic. He's got a coke problem. He's probably chasing women left and right, and it's like, son, we need to have a little come to Jesus meeting. And if I've got to smack you down, this is exactly what's going to happen. But that's
Yep.
pretty much what happened. I'm going to show you Vance now, because Vance jumped in on the picture as well. But first observation about this other clip: the total amount of disrespect, just the on the whole, the amount of disrespect that Zelensky shows to Trump. Let's put it in perspective. First of all, Zelensky's younger than Trump. So right there, you're not even showing respect to an elder. You're invited into this elder's home. Okay? You're in his space. You know, you don't go to your friend's house and piss on their rug. It just doesn't work that way. You know?
And
so,
and you know that
wow.
what I really want to give Vance credit for is Vance slapped him down while being pretty respectful in doing it.
Yeah, he really did. In fact, let's just go ahead and bring this onto the stage. But I do want to make one comment. It is right before we started the live. I was having a quick conversation with my wife, and she mentioned, she says, you know, I'm watching these clips, and the thing that stands out to me is that Zelensky is talking to Trump in the way that he spoke to Biden. And I thought that was quite an astute observation.
It was.
It absolutely. Biden is not Trump. No way.
I guess he learned that. Yeah.
He learned that the hard way. Let's check out Vance here now. It's his turn.
About the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war,
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what are you
You're
thinking about?
gambling with
What are you
World
thinking
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank you.
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
what
of
are you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Wow. And I just want to show this one
I'm talking about
One
the kind
more
of
time for
diplomacy
just a
that's gonna
second
end the
here.
destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
look at the body language of Zelensky.
Yeah.
Completely closed off. I'm not accepting this. I'm not listening. No. And look at Trump's body language. He's just trying to keep his shit together before he goes scorched earth on this guy.
You know, Trump's sitting there with his hands like that, and it looks like he just wants to bitch slap him with the back of his hand.
Exactly. And then you've got Vance in this very diplomatic, open, uh, body position. I mean, this right here just tells the story. Incredible. But yeah, well, what are your thoughts over that? I mean, what the hell was that?
You know, I heard it said for several days before Zelensky went there, it was a big, you know, media thing for him to say, look, I am the official president of Russia, and I'm even recognized by the United States as such. He even had the Rada pass a law saying that until the special military operation was over, he was the rightful president. I think he learned today. He is, got puppet strings on him.
Yeah, he does. He does. And another observation from a guy who's seen drug users, this guy's coming off a high. He's coming off a high, and he doesn't know up, down, left, right. He's in this half stupor, half awake. Usually when you're on coke or anything else, you're going to be freaking wired. You are on. And he's not. He is in this very cloudy stage. Yeah. He's coming off of it. And what a very, very bad look, man. Wow.
Hey, and in fairness, it was middle of the night for him. He had to stay awake somehow. So, do some on the plane on the way to Washington. I don't know.
I'm guessing he had his last snort. Yeah, there at the plane. And then, who knows?
So Rosie says she believes he was going off before camera came on. And you do have the longer clip here. And I wish if I had not seen it 2 minutes before we went live, there's an even longer version yet. So this actually started before the longer clip that we've got.
Oh, okay. Maybe I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
It was hilarious.
Wow. So he was already on it. Anyway, check this out. This clip here. This is, let me get my notes just so I know who the heck I'm talking about. But this clip is of the Ukrainian ambassador to the U.S., Oksana Markarova. And just check her out.
Of course we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want to ceasefire?
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask other people about ceasefire, what they think.
It doesn't matter for you.
Poor girl, she's dying. She is dying. Wow.
I hadn't seen that. And what I read on her face was, we told you to shut the hell up on the plane over here.
Just come here, nod, say yes, thank you, yes. That's all you've got to do. Yeah. Wow.
What would have happened if he came and he just said, thank you very much for investing in our economy and helping us, Mr. Trump. Where do I sign? He would be in a much better spot. I heard people last night going on about, Trump's changing his position. He told Starmer that, he supported NATO and he would give security guarantees for British and French troops in Ukraine. And he actually didn't say that. He said he supported Article 5 of NATO and would be there if it was needed. But he was talking about France and the UK putting peacekeeping troops in Ukraine if a peace deal was signed. And we know that Putin's not going to sign a peace deal with NATO forces on the line. So Trump knows already that's not going to happen. So people have been spinning this and, he's going to sign this deal with Zelensky, tell Putin to you know, take a flying leap at a rolling donut. And I think they got him all wrong.
Yeah, Alex Neo says, I wouldn't call her poor girl, more like Zelensky's right-hand woman in propaganda. She, she is. But I will give her this. She is a woman, and a woman cannot hide her emotions
Yes.
at all. She can be quiet and not speak, but she will never hide her emotions physically. And that's exactly what we saw. And you could read that, a mile away. But wow. But you know what? You bring up a really good point, Kevin, because we spoke about this earlier today, and I was on X last night, staying up late because of the time difference, and someone mentioned about the possibility of Russian troops doing peacekeeping after the cessation of the SMO. And I thought about it and I said, that's actually a pretty good idea. And I went on to list my my reasons for that. And so, I think Russia should have a component in whatever peacekeeping plan they have there. My reasoning was if you had like Belarus, uh, and well, I was thinking Belarus, but then again, you mentioned other countries as well, because they know, first of all, the Russian troops all speak Russian. They know the culture. They know the uh, customs. Who better to patrol peace and kind of police that area than people who intimately know the local population? You could
Yep.
also, like you said, Kevin, bring in maybe troops from Poland, Hungary, from where else? Romania, Slovenia, any country,
Slovakia.
Slovakia, that spoke Russian at one time when, during the USSR. So that's a really, really good idea. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a good idea. And I don't remember if it was Putin or Lavrov just a couple of days ago said that they have no problem with peacekeepers, a peacekeeping mission to keep the peace in Ukraine, as long as it included Russian peacekeepers. I gave Alex the links to both of us.
Oh, okay, thanks.
And yeah, so I think that's doable. I don't think Europe will like it. I don't think they'll like Russia or Belarus. Now, you put some guys like the Polish in there, their government is pretty anti-Russian. Their people are not. So that could be workable. Romanians, Moldovans. How about if we get some Moldovans in there as peacekeepers? But none of them want to do it.
Yeah.
Who wants to be in there? The British, the French, the Germans, and man, look at what's going on in Kosovo. How well has that been working there? Just don't understand the culture. Hey, I do want to say hey to viewers over on YouTube. We got quite a few people over there tonight too.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. We've got 105 here on the live between both our channels. So thank you all for joining us. And and so go ahead.
I want to put this up just because Rosie's comment about it starting before what we're seeing. Part of this started around comments by Zelensky that this all started in 2014, and Obama did nothing to help Ukraine. Trump did nothing. Biden did nothing. Nobody did anything. And Trump made a real big deal out of the fact that Crimea was under Obama. During Trump, nobody took anything. Biden came in, and we have the current situation. So, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. I just
no.
Yeah.
Just the mere fact. I'm going to plug my video because I think nobody's going to watch it. I just had a premiere about an hour ago, and I hate doing some of these walk and talks now because I do them, I edit them, I put them out maybe the next day or the second day after, and it's just obsolete information. Actually, that video is not so obsolete. There's a good point to be made in that video about the deep state, which is the EU now. Let's just be clear about it. It's the EU, Democrats in Congress, rogue elements within the intelligence apparatchik, and probably Five Eyes around the world that are against not only Trump, and thank you, Murat, thank you so much, and against Putin. So interesting.
Yeah, the walk and talks, I was doing them, and I just prefer doing lives.
Yeah, let me tell you. And I've got some breaking news here, reported via RIA Novosti. Yes. Okay, this is after the meeting. The U.S. State Department is ending a program to support the restoration of Ukraine's energy infrastructure. NBC News reports.
Well, let's see. So no mineral rights, no weapons, no money, no energy infrastructure.
All right, I got one more for you. The Trump administration has decided to reduce the presence of the USAID agency in Ukraine from 64 to 8 employees. I think, if you ask me, they probably have a long lease on the building, and these 8 employees are all janitorial staff. Just a wild guess. Okay.
Hey. That's not fair. Janitorial and one receptionist to answer the phone.
Oh, one receptionist to answer the phone. Absolutely. So, yeah, you're right. So that's 8 right there. Yeah. Wow.
So this is a good question. Do we think that the U.S. will stop all support to Ukraine after this? What do you think, Eddie?
Let me read this to you, and this will answer your question, okay? The Pentagon chief ordered U.S. Cyber Command to stop all activities against Russia, including offensive cyber operations, the industry publication record reports. This was what you were doing. Am I right, Kevin?
It is what I did for a living. I did it. I hate to admit this on air. I did this for 2 years while living in Russia. What does that tell you?
Absolutely.
And the Russians knew it.
Yeah. So officially, remember when they said, no, we're not doing any offensive operations against Russia with Cyber Command? We don't do those things. Well, now they're putting an end to it, so it kind of like confirms the fact that they were there. Yeah. And a shout out really quick. Sam Macbeth, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Every donation helps. Thank you. So appreciate it.
The picture looks more like Reagan.
Which one? Oh, yeah, it does.
Sam's,
It
yeah.
really does. Okay, one more to answer this question. EU diplomacy chief promises to increase military support for Kiev to continue fighting amid Zelensky scandal in the US. Check out how they're framing this. Zelensky scandal in the US, and EU chief promises to increase. Promises doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay, let's be clear. But at least now we're starting to see, because this is the, by the way, guys, this is our next live tomorrow, is going to be the EU's response. Is it not, Kevin? Because we haven't heard.
It's going to have to be. Yeah.
We haven't heard from the EU. All right. This is all too new. I mean, right now their heads are blowing. This like the shit that's happening. Yeah, it's happening too fast. We'll talk about this one tomorrow. But it's already being framed. So they're kind of posturing themselves and saying, hey, man, Zelensky, we got your back. We're going to increase military support for you. Yeah. So that answers your question. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen? Actually, what I think is going to happen, let me just be very blunt. It's going to be a phone call like this from the White House to the Kremlin and says, hey, Vlad, remember that time you asked me about Kiev? Go ahead. What do you think?
Well,
possibility?
I think it's a possibility. You know,
I don't think it's probable, but I think it's possible.
Yeah. You know, the EU is sounding pretty big right now. And I'm going to go back to what Trump has been saying. They have provided some support, not a lot. Van der Leyen, we'll call her by, you know, the loving name her pet name everyone uses for her, said they were going to give $700 billion to Ukraine over the next 7 to 10 years. They're going to send Mirage fighters from France, fighter jets from France to Ukraine. Except, what have all their pilots been trained on? F-16s, different monster. So they're going to have to train those guys. I think it'll be all over. I think it's an easy promise for the EU to make because I think it'll be all over before they have to spend much at all.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is going to accelerate whatever inevitable ending was going to happen. I think there is a plan in place. Let me tell you, both administrations, I would say the Kremlin and especially this administration in Washington, do have contingency plans, have backup plans. So I'm sure there's a backup plan for what if this goes down the toilet. And we'll probably start to see that here in the next day or so, what that's exactly going to be.
I'll say this. Trump has been saying that a peace agreement needs to be signed soon or it probably won't happen. I think Zelensky just made it extremely possible for there to be a peace agreement between the United States and Russia. And when you consider that China's sitting over here watching everything, and they're kind of on Russia's side most of the time, you now have the three world powers up against the rest of the world.
What would a peace agreement between, and hang on, Lotus V, and we'll get to your question. I've got it started here, but let's just do a hypothetical. What does that look like? An agreement, you've got the U.S. and Russia starting to deepen their diplomatic ties together. There's also talk of cooperation in business and in finance and all that good stuff, and sanctions. What happens if the U.S. pulls its support from Ukraine and basically says, you guys are on your own. Now we've got Europe, the UK, fighting against Russia and the United States, because would the United States support Russia against Europe and UK? What do you think?
I don't think they'll support Russia against Europe and the UK as in a conflict. I think the support is what we've already put up on the screen and read already. I think, giving intelligence information is now out of the window. I think you'll find that the drones that the U.S. has been flying around the Black Sea are going to disappear. So I think, I don't think you'll see a direct conflict because they're still all NATO members. But if the EU sends troops into Ukraine, then they've violated the NATO agreement already. Article 5 doesn't apply because if they get attacked while they're fighting for Ukraine in Ukraine, they entered a country that was in conflict already. That's not allowed. And if they send weapons and planes to Ukraine, and Russia decides we're going to strike their plants in their own countries, which they've threatened to do, does it really fall under Article 5? Because now they've been warned, we consider you giving long-range missiles, planes, weapons to Ukraine is direct conflict with Russia. And I don't think the United States will support a NATO vote to stand beside them. And what are they going to do if the UK and France are fighting against Russia? Who are they going to, if the United States won't put troops on the ground, who are they going to throw in there from NATO? The 6 guys from the Baltic states?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's highly unlikely that, that you're right. There would be no support in like an armed conflict, but definitely support in many other ways. Because you go watch my video, it's about a geopolitical realignment that's occurring, and you could see it. It's happening before our eyes. So,
but let's also remember.
Thank you very much. By the way,
all this stuff around Ukraine, yet they've still announced trade deals with the UK and France. So we have to remember that you see this one thing out in front of you all the time, but it kind of takes your focus off of all this stuff going on back here. So Russia and the United States have been cooperating on stuff even during Biden's administration. They will continue regardless. I think it's just going to be more to the front. And Boris Johnson, I guess maybe he put down his pint of beer long enough to get that out of his drunken face.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
Let's go back to Anis's question here.
Yeah.
You think they'll impeach Zelensky? I think this is pretty typical in places like Ukraine. I think they're going to go to Emily's idea of the 21st floor open window and him accidentally stumbling out the open window. Yeah, and you guys need to know, Eddie and I are laughing because when you go to a hotel in Russia or Ukraine and you stay up 7, 8, 20 floors, it's not like in the West where you can't open the window or it opens very little just to let a little air in so that nobody, so a child can't climb out. These windows open full wide, and if you stumble out that window, you're SOL. Or
totally
he's going to
possible.
He's going to commit suicide by shooting himself in the back of the head twice.
So right now, I'm trying to decide whether he brought enough cocaine to get high on his way back, or are they going to have to buy some in DC downtown, on a street corner before he gets on the plane? I don't know. All All right. But there's going to be a Coke Fest on the way back. I don't think anyone's going to be happy on this trip back to Ukraine. And they're going to have to discuss with their puppet masters in the EU and the UK. What do we do next? What's next? So right now you've got the UK, we'll just call it Collective West, starting to make statements that in support of Zelensky and against the United States. And that'll continue. What will happen to Zelensky? I don't know. I wouldn't go home if I were him, but that's just me. But
yeah, I would be heading straight for wherever he arranged to have all his stolen money sent.
Let me tell you, because I really think, well, let's just go back. I'm going to read this. This is from Rio Novosti. This was earlier tonight. The Ukrainian delegation begged to resume talks. This was after this fiasco. But Rubio and Waltz asked Zelensky to leave the White House, as per Fox News.
Yep.
He was invited to leave. So to me, this is like a cutting off of, well, you know what? Let's just cut our losses. We're done with this clown. We got bigger fish to fry. We're done.
Yep.
And
wasted our time. Go away.
Yeah, go away. Go away. Next. And we'll see.
So G-Man, I didn't catch it. I'll have to watch it again. You know, it's hard to tell when Zelensky's speaking in Ukrainian because he can't speak Ukrainian. When he's speaking in English, because he can hardly speak English. The Russian, I didn't catch it. So I can't answer that. Did you catch it, Eddie?
I can't say that it sounds familiar. Like maybe I did hear it, but I didn't catch it. But I don't know. I'm just going to put this up real quick. Sam Macbeth says, I agree with you. Realignment of powers. I think the EU is afraid of becoming irrelevant. U.S. should get back into Russia and help them develop their resources, not the UK idea of stealing. You're absolutely right. But the EU knows they are irrelevant. They've known they've been irrelevant since the beginning of the Cold War, when they decided to be the lapdogs, when they decided to just go along with America and its hegemonic ways. And they know they're vassals.
They were irrelevant.
We told them many, many different times. And
Trump
not only
did
that,
recently.
Trump did recently. We've given them money to basically be our partner and just stay in the background till we need you, say what we want you to say, and shut up. And so I don't think they're afraid of becoming irrelevant. I think they are afraid of the world acknowledging their irrelevance.
Yes.
I think that's
so the other thing Sam brings,
but that's it.
And yes, Sam, we probably know some of the same people. Getting back into Russia on the same comment and helping them develop their resources. Let's keep in mind that Putin has already opened the door for the U.S. to develop rare earth minerals in the new territories of Russia. And it very well could be as part of a peace deal that the United States, Russia, we aren't going to step in and say a word till you go all the way to the Dnieper River, because let's keep in mind that all of it exists to the east of the Dnieper River and south down by Odessa. Everything to the west of the Dnieper is basically forest. That's their big thing, is cedar and pine. So it could be that the United States just cuts a mineral rights deal with Russia and says, you know, we're going to close our eyes until you go all the way up to the river.
Yeah, I just started a couple of comments here from Dingbat. Goldfarb.
Dingbat, hey, buddy.
Does this actually change anything, though? The U.S. is still sending Ukraine weapons support, are they not? I think this is all for show.
They cut off the weapons
Нет, товарищ.
back a few days ago.
Yeah,
or
so
I should say,
been...
Trump said they haven't sent anything. I think that ended already, and I think it's not going to restart.
And Daryl P says Congress will still send support to Ukraine. So yeah, it is just for show. This will be hard to do, especially now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Head of the House said he is not willing to put those appropriations to the vote. That was just a day or two ago as well.
And the optics of just what happened today to your ordinary average American will be quite enraging. Enraging. They're pissed at Zelensky. How dare you come to our house and treat our president this way?
So everybody needs to go get at least the 7-minute video and watch it, but the whole 12-minute video. At the very end, Trump said, it's good for the American people to see what the reality is with this idiot. Referring to Zelensky.
Yeah, in fact, let's watch the longer clip. Let's just go ahead and put it on, because this gives a little bit more context to everything we've been talking about. So here's the longer clip.
The hatred he's got for Putin, it's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know.
Just so we don't get in trouble with YouTube, I'm stopping it here to make a comment. So we are commenting on this video. So fair use. Watch what happens now.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the
the
cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what you're
You're
speaking
gambling
about?
with
What are you
World
speaking
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country,
I'm
that's
with all
back to you,
respect to your
far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of
you're
America
speaking about.
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Yeah, I said thanks lots of times. Yeah, I mean, what's the matter with JD Vance? Give more money, more weapons, more money. That's
More money.
More money. Thank you. It's the same thing.
Please.
Yeah.
You think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a
I just have to comment on this. You know, tomorrow night, it's going to be a long stream tomorrow night, guys. We're going to have the EU's response, but Andy Afrolev is going to be with us, and we're going to talk a little bit somewhere along about Russian wives. And I can tell you, I have heard this one a lot of times. Yeah. Why are you shouting so loudly? Yeah, I'm not shouting.
I'm speaking
Your
forcefully.
country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
We gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course,
It's
yes.
going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
Whoa. It's going to be very hard to do business this way. Remember,
Yep.
Trump's a businessman, okay? Talking about negotiation, he already knows I cannot deal with you. There's just
It's
there's
not
no
only he can't deal with him, but Russia won't be able to deal with him with the attitude.
no. I don't think anybody will either. But I think that was quite significant statement
Yes.
from President Trump, and he's very angry. You can see.
In 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course,
It's
yes.
going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Right here is where I think he's already made his decision in his mind. We're done with this guy. I
Yes.
can't do business with him. I'm done. Okay,
Look how red his face is too. He's pissed.
Yeah, he's orange, man, right now. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the moment that he has. I'm done. I cannot do
Yeah,
business
so-
with this guy.
So before you start this,
Yeah.
Rosie's comment, why can't they say Putin went in to protect the 4 regions after the East joined the Federation while the world did nothing for 8 years? She's absolutely right. Zelensky played this or tried to play this fake hand of cards saying, we were invaded in 2014. Nobody did anything, until 2022, this happened. But he neglects the fact that his government was killing his own people in the East. Genocide.
I was going to say if you could put that comment back up, but I don't see it starred. But I want to add to that, to Rosie's comment, is this is an inconvenient truth. Putin went in to protect the 4 regions after the East joined the Federation while the world did nothing for 8 years. Do you know those are the exact same words I say to my friends and family in the West when they ask me, Ed, tell me, what's the truth? What's going on in Ukraine? And my answer is, look, Putin went in to protect the Donbas against aggression from Ukraine. And now your weapons, taxpayer, the money that you send to Congress is paying weapons to attack Russian-speaking Ukrainians on the east. They're in the Donbas, and they've done nothing for 8 years. That's exactly what I've said. It's an inconvenient truth. And before we move on really quick, I just want to get to this. Fuzzy Balls, thank you for the contribution. Trump has no respect for Zelensky, NATO, or the EU, and with newly acquired lands, Russia controls of an estimated $87 trillion worth of rare earth minerals and metals. Partnership with Russia makes sense. It makes sense on so many levels. But yes, he has lost all respect for Z-Man right here.
And Fuzzy Balls, thank you again. Tulsi Gabbard's finally giving Trump the truth. I think his entire administration is giving him the truth.
That is a very good observation, because in the beginning, before his cabinet was really aligned and, of course, confirmed, he was getting, I don't know where he was getting intel from all sides. But now you can tell that he's realigned his approach, and you can tell he's getting the truth. So, yeah, thank you on that. And we will continue with this.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I know.
on soldiers.
Don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a
Can't you tell he's thankful when he says I'm thankful?
Yeah, he's just oozing oozing with gratitude.
Yeah.
Damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to my
Without us, you don't have any cards.
Yeah, no
And I
cards.
think
Yep.
that's just not hyperbole. That's a statement of fact to Zelensky.
Yeah.
You don't have the cards with us anymore. I think that's what that meant.
Like Fuzzy Ball says, he left the White House without his walnuts.
Oh man, I think this is it right here. Yeah, this
It's
is
going to
the
be a
end of the
tough deal
clip.
to make,
um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia
This thing over with.
Yeah, wow,
So
incredible.
at the end there, where Trump was leaning over to listen to what the woman was saying, is what went on beyond that was Trump said, "What the hell is she asking?" And JD Vance said, "She's asking what if Russia, or what if Putin breaks a peace deal?" And because earlier, or maybe it was here in the discussion, Zelensky went on and on about how can he trust Putin to sign a peace deal because he broke a peace deal that what's her name? German. Angela Merkel signed and Macron signed guaranteeing peace. Again, forgetting all about the Donbass fiasco. So here, the woman's saying, you know, what would happen if he breaks it? And Trump goes on about, I don't think he's going to break a peace deal he makes with me because we have respect for each other. Putin respects me. He didn't respect Obama, so maybe he broke agreements there. He didn't respect Biden, so maybe he broke agreements there. But they've been through a lot with me. And he goes on about like the whole fake Russia thing in the last election. And so it's kind of interesting. We've been getting longer and longer clips throughout the day.
Yeah. No, Zelensky really is just a comedian. Yeah.
Once a
That's
comedian,
gonna be
always
the-
a comedian.
That
Yep.
will be the footnote in his obituary. But yeah. In fact, I want to just play this clip, a part of this clip again, if I can find it, because I want to. I think this is it right here.
That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying.
My observation right here is Trump not channeling Vladimir Putin right now. Okay. When I was watching this clip, I could see President Putin and President Trump kind of just like changing faces, because I can hear President Putin making this argument to Zelensky's face if he could ever talk to him.
And your men stuff getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a
But I
ceasefire.
said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire.
guarantee.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people ceasefire what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden who was.
Yeah. And so then now he goes off on another point, but I could see him basically channeling Vladimir Putin at that moment.
So here's the clip that Sam was talking about that Andy posted.
Have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour. Have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring.
So, did he call him a bitch? Well, it's not really what those two words mean. So, it's we'll leave it as he called him.
We'll
a
leave
bitch.
it as is.
Yeah,
But,
we don't want to get in trouble with the algorithm. Hey, Serge,
Yeah.
how you doing, buddy?
Welcome, Serge. Welcome to everybody who's on the live. We got 99 in the live right now. We had up to 109 earlier. Be sure to do us a favor, smash the like button if you haven't done it already. If you're not subscribed to Moscow Photographer or American in Crimea, do so now. It costs you nothing. Also, go to my ex, I can't remember his name. Oh my gosh. Who was it? Alan James. Correction, Alan Jones. Thank you very much. Who's on X? Go to our X channels, subscribe to us there as well. Thank you very much. But
Go to
what else you
YouTube.
got?
Subscribe to my channel over there. Hey,
go to RooTube. I've got a
we've got-
RooTube too, but
we've got 8 people watching live over there right now.
oh wow, not bad. Not bad.
And that's
All right,
been
I want to get
consistent,
to
so-
I want to get to some of these comments right quick.
the starred ones. Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Steph V. I'm worried about the Dan Bongino getting in Trump's ear, little weasel who trusts Zelensky more than Putin. I know a lot of people are fooled on him. I plan to do a live just about this because there's not a lot of people who understand this. Obviously, I think you and I are kind of on the same sources for information about that. We will leave that to another live where we can do a deeper dive on this. But I think you're onto something right there.
Yeah.
And what's got?
About Erica's question.
Yes.
How do you feel the press being present changed the meeting?
I don't think the press had so much of an influence besides Zelensky's own attitude. I think his attitude was the fuel
His
to this fire.
downfall,
Yeah. And I think it would have happened. I think if there was no press there, it probably would have been worse.
Yeah. I'm just putting this up because I apologize. I accredited this to Sam. It was actually G-Man that pointed me to that last short we played.
All right. What else we got here? Let's see. We got more comments up here. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any?
If not, we're well over an hour.
Yeah, Trump canceled the signing of the mining agreement. Absolutely tore it up. It's.
Yep.
And here's another thing. Do you think there's any coming back to it? What do you think?
Nope. I think it will be an agreement with Russia now for the exact same mines. That's what I think. Pure speculation on my part. That is not an informed decision. or an
Hey guys,
informed opinion.
I've got a couple of photos here that I'm going to have to put up. Just bear with me a couple of seconds. These are really, really good. Stand by. And one more.
While we're standing by, Anvin, I think Russia can take whatever they want in Ukraine if they choose to. But they have repeatedly said, and I believe them, that they don't want it. It would be too much to police, too many pockets of terror cells. We've got them in Crimea still. So they could. As far as Odessa goes, will they? We'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see. But what if this just occurred to me? What if you had U.S. troops there doing peacekeeping? Just saying.
Who knows?
And
Live
there's an
tomorrow.
agreement for assistance. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Live
time,
tomorrow.
Kev? Because this is on your channel.
Normally I would go 9 o'clock and go for about an hour, but since we're throwing a bunch of other stuff in there, do we do 8 o'clock and go longer, or do we start at 9 and go longer? Well, let's do the normal time, 9 and start longer. These late night ones seem to be doing pretty well. We're up over 100 again.
Yeah, let's do 9 p.m. Moscow time tomorrow.
1 p.m. Eastern U.S. Don't listen to Eddie. He
1 p.m. Eastern.
subtracts too many hours off.
2 to
8
10.
hours difference, bud.
Well, Eastern time is 2 hours, and I always use Central time, which is 9 hours.
Well, then I'm an idiot.
Yeah, of course, we trade off. So
yeah,
and one more thank you to Murat. Thank you,
Murat.
guys. Have a Baltika on me. We'll have a couple of them. How's that? And let me upload a couple of pictures.
Thanks, G-Man.
Hey, good one. All right, let me do a couple of images here right quick. First of all, we've got this one from Medvedev. The insolent pig finally got a proper slap down in the Oval Office, and real Donald Trump is right. The Kiev regime is gambling with World War III. Yeah.
Lindsey Graham of Russia.
Oh man, let me tell you. But yeah. Oh, speaking of Lindsey, give me bear 1 minute. Let me get this down. All right. Here's another information, but I'm not going to put this up there. Well,
while you're doing that, Rosie, they are not only securing the 4 regions, but yesterday they stepped up the attacks on Zaporozhye, which is yet another region. So, and I personally think they're going to take at least half of the Dnipro Oblast as well, because that is considered Russian territory. Know a lot of people there, and they are Russian at heart, regardless of what anyone might tell you. They do not necessarily support Zelensky, but if you ask them in a survey, they're going to say absolutely.
Okay, folks, before we leave, I do have one more clip that was just sent to me. I'm going to go ahead and upload it. I have not listened to it, but it is Lindsey Graham. Now, Lindsey has been one of the most vocal supporters from the Republican Party for Zelensky, pro-Ukraine. He hates Russia. He hates Putin. He hates Russians. And it seems that he may have had a change of heart. So I'm going to upload this, and it should play.
This morning,
Haven't
I
seen it.
urged
Can't
him
wait.
to stay on message, be grateful, be thankful. We'll talk about details of security guarantees later. Keep it upbeat, keep it positive. It was absolute, utter disaster. The question for me is he redeemable in the eyes of Americans? Most Americans witnessing what they saw today would not want Zelensky to be their business partner, including me, and I've been to Ukraine 9 times since the war started. I met with him this morning. President Trump I talked to last night, he was upbeat about the deal. I've never been more proud of President Trump for showing the American people in the world you don't trifle with this man. He was very positive. He was very upbeat. He wanted to get a ceasefire. He wants to end the war. And Zelensky felt like he needed to debate Trump in the Oval Office. JD was awesome.
Wow.
Who is that man?
Who is that guy? First of all, he looks like Lindsey Graham.
It is a deep fake.
Sounds like Lindsey Graham. Wow. Yeah. So why did Lindsey have a change of heart? I don't know. But that
Disrespect his country. Hey.
Let me tell you,
You
man.
know,
I guess these
anything you
guys
can
are
say
playing
about
for-
Lindsey Graham, you do not disrespect the United States.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Let me do this other image file. Where is it? This is from Trump Jr. on his True Social or X. I can't. Yeah, X. Where's my money? Listen here, little shit. This midget and his demands.
I love it.
That's perfect. Nailed it, as he says. Nailed it. And just one more, just to close this out, is this one right here. Where is it? This one. Go home to mommy. Wow.
I love it.
It's gone. Oh, man. Let me read this. Look. Yeah, I looked at Sonic Wolf says, I looked at the comments of the Americans who watched this meeting, and then there was some kind of mega rate of bots in their comments, a lot of comments with Zelensky support from channels. Probably. I guess there was still money in some of the former USAID, some of their bank accounts still. So
something like 62 billion.
Wow. So they're going to operate for a while. Andrew, Lindsey Graham and John McCain are traitors. Go
Andrew, if you want to know the truth about this situation, go over to our buddy Afrolev's YouTube channel, and he did an interview with me where we talked specifically about Maidan and who is involved in that. So just as a promo to our fourth
to
idiot.
his channel. And also, I'm going to plug this right now, is if you haven't seen the show, it's a documentary called Ukraine on Fire that was produced by Oliver Stone, Hollywood director of all people. Excellent. And in fact, I think there's a part 2 to it as well. But it goes into explicit detail of how Maidan was created, fabricated, and executed with precision. And it's great. Ukraine on Fire. Okay. Guys, that's all I got. What you got?
Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Andy's channel. Quit talking, guys. Afrolev. That's why I thought the Afrolev. Okay. Rosie's asking about Andy's URL. So there you go.
There you go.
The Afrolev. Okay.
All right. I think I'm done.
I'm done too. I probably should get
Uh,
back to work before it's quitting time.
Everyone who is watching us right now, thank you so much for staying up with us. If you're here in the Russian continent, as I like to call it, because it's huge. If you guys are in the States, appreciate it from wherever you are. Let me know in the comments, not in the live stream, but go to the video itself. And in the comments, let me know where you're watching from. And it helps push out the algorithm a little bit. Share this with your family, share it with your friends, share it with the liberals that you know of, share it on your social media, wherever. Just put it out.
Yeah.
Appreciate it,
Sam
guys. Thank you all
Macbeth.
so much.
Yeah. Sam Macbeth, I'm not sure
Go
what
ahead.
platform you'll find it on. Do a Yandex search. I believe it is on both YouTube and VK Video. I don't know if it's left on any Western ones anymore.
It is on Rumble, for sure.
It is on Rumble. So
Because I've watched it a couple of times on Rumble. It might even be YouTube now again. I know it
again,
was taken
maybe.
down, but it may be on YouTube again. But just check it. All right, guys. Anything else?
Nope. See y'all at 9 p.m. Moscow time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, noon Central time tomorrow.
All right. До завтра. Пока.
До свидания.